probably apologized a million times. Are you awake?
You mastered it by the time you got to me.
Oh, yeah.
Do you want me to do this another day?
No, it's good.
Oh. Anyway, so he, right from the very beginning, showed personality traits that he still has. Like, he doesn't sit still, except for right now. So when he was a baby, he wouldn't sit on your lap. He wanted to wiggle, 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 get down and go get into stuff. And his favorite thing to do was, we lived in an apartment with a long hallway, he would speed crawl as fast as he could to get to the toilet.
Because he would
paper roll.
be so anxious to crawl, he'd be
And he would
slapping.
unravel it. If
He
could
still
unravel
does
it
that.
Before we found out he had done it, he was like.
He still crawls down the hall.
He still loves toilet paper.
That was his favorite thing, was toilet paper. So
That's a hit. That's a hit.
what are you laughing at?
The
The toilet paper.
Oh, Leonard, so for his first birthday, we gave him a bunch of toilet paper. When he learned how to ride a two-wheeler, I mean, a lot of kids are like really happy. No, the whole city of Elgin heard his screaming and jumping and jumping.
We still have an 8mm movie of it somewhere. I don't know where.
So he was, I mean, when it's your first kid, you don't really know what to expect, but he was, in fact, Jonathan reminds me of this as far as like explosive emotion, passion, whatever. One time when he was in a violin recital in front of a large audience, he messed up. And most kids would probably go, oops, or, oh, wait. No, David took his bow and screamed, and everybody in the audience was scared to death. So, these are just kind of random little things.
Well, you need some more entertainment. Yeah.
And when he was really young, my friends were concerned because I would use sarcasm, and they're like, he's just a baby. You can't really, he doesn't, but he learned it really good. I'm very proud. And even now, when he's in a silly mood, you may as well skip any idea of having a serious conversation. Just cannot do it. So that was
Pickle
that was always
jokes.
there. Some of these memories are from your siblings, like how you took an aluminum chair, like a lawn chair that with the netting, and you nailed it into a tree.
One of the maple trees
Watch the Cubs
in
games.
front of the Liberty Street house.
And he grew up hearing this song, Only a Boy Named David. One time somebody asked him, what's your name? And he said, I'm only a boy named David. He was so scrawny and skinny, and he had these little bird legs, like really skinny legs. But one day, Sarah Kinsella in second grade told him he had sexy legs, and we were encouraged.
I don't even know who that ever was, but I do remember teasing him about it till about 16.
And Sarah
And maybe even
Kinsella,
beyond.
that was it for her, man.
Yeah.
He was so painfully shy that we had to teach him how to make friends. And in eighth grade,
Once he learned it, though, he
yeah,
did
once
it.
he overcame that shyness. When he was in eighth grade, we felt really bad because everybody on the baseball team had these beautiful new shoes,
Air Jordans or whatever.
but
They're
his
cool
were
now.
hand-me-downs, and they didn't even fit, and they were like, they were really, really bad. And we just felt bad, but we didn't have any money. So we named him after King David in the Bible. Does anybody know what King David in the Bible did? Yeah, do you know what he did?
He was famous for a lot of
He was
things.
famous for writing songs. And if you ever heard of Psalms is songs. And he wrote a lot of it. So we named him after that because Dad and Grandpa and I both loved King David in the Bible, and we named him that. And David was a songwriter. Even when, are you awake? Even when he was super little, he would sing songs to the Lord.
He just made them up on the
He
fly.
It was so innocent
Sweet.
and sweet. And then he wrote a lot of songs since then that, because he loved, what's his name, Bob Dylan, Loudon Wainwright, and kind of, inspiration. And he wrote a lot of really good songs. I don't know if anybody's heard them, but
I love
they're
them.
a lot of words, a story in each song, and they're very good.
I want to live on an airplane.
Yeah.
And then that came true.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
for many years, he took Suzuki violin, and I would force him to practice 20 minutes a day, and he fought me every inch. But when he grew up, he said, you should have made me practice more, should have been tougher on me. So he had a really beautiful voice, and we had him audition for a very prestigious Glen Ellen Children's Chorus. They don't just take anybody, you have to rep, and he made it, and that was really cool. Then, as an adult, he disciplined himself. I mean, when you're a kid, you don't try that hard, you know, you're just a kid. But when you grow up, you start becoming more intentional. He was very, very intentional about learning Chinese, learning the violin really well, piano, guitar, banjo. He also learned how to, he wasn't shy anymore. He was now scary, daring, and would jump into things that maybe anybody else would have had a little more caution in. But he learned how to build stuff on his house, and I'm getting this mixed up. When he went to Camp Awana as a kid, he went every year to Camp Awana for 2 weeks. And then when you get up to high school, you can't go anymore. So are you awake? Okay, he volunteered as a cabin leader because his heart was there. He loves kids.
And Rob was and Caleb,
Yeah, and they had a
all of
lot
them.
of fun. And
I did it, Todd did it,
yeah,
Yeah.
El Cedino Senior.
yeah. And it was because you wanted to help out
I
at
did
camp.
it 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
It was-
Did ya?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, and
It's
that's
not a vacation.
no, it's not a
really
vacation,
hard.
but when you have a heart for the kids. So I knew he was gonna be a good dad because
Actually, yeah.
one time we showed up and he was sitting at the
Only
lake
one
with
person
all
I've
these
done
boys
leaving
and he
that.
had his arms around them. So we also often thanked
No,
him.
it was work. 2 weeks.
Being firstborn, you feel like you're more responsible because you kind of have to watch your younger siblings. And we always thanked him for being a good kid because the younger ones look up. And you were a good kid.
I think Auntie Normie and Mom thought of him as a big teaser.
Yeah, I know. I found out stuff. Maybe not as good as.
Thanks for bringing us back to reality.
I have a question. Did he make up where he said something to a big tingle?
I think maybe that's possible.
Yeah, we like Uncle David time, don't we? And everybody needs more Uncle David time.
In a low point in his career, somebody gave him an opportunity. It was
Richard.
Richard, and saw potential in you and gave you a job, and that changed the direction of your career from that point on, and I think that impacted you.
And then who was the Swedish guy? Stefan.
Right. And
Both
I think,
of those guys.
Um,
And then Jeff.
I think now he likes to do that for others. In fact, there's probably people in this room that have been, I know I'd cry.
I think
blessed
everybody-
by his generosity.
Everybody here, probably.
In one
Mhm.
way or another. Like I found out
I'm
you paid
still
for
waiting.
dinner, and you're not paying for dinner tonight.
Just kidding.
Um,
Okay, you paid for it.
But he's given people housing, jobs, money, loans. I don't even know what, because he doesn't talk about it. He doesn't really like to tell anybody what he's done, which is exactly what it's supposed to be. You're supposed to not let your left hand know what your right hand does. And I think you don't see people like you're better than anybody. I love this quote. Humility is an honest approach to the reality of our own lives and acknowledges that we are not more important than other people. He was very hardworking. He'd ride his bike across Elgin to caddy at the Elgin Country Club. That took a lot of effort. When David and Katie were first married, they couldn't afford much because he was working as a checker at Meijer. So David got their first apartment in a high crime zone in downtown Elgin by the boat. And with their next door neighbor was arrested for drugs 5 minutes after they moved in. I said, Katie, you're living on National Street. She said, yeah, why? I said, oh my gosh.
Is that a coincidence? I mean, 5 minutes after you
They
guys
haul
came
her.
in?
Wouldn't she bake you guys pies after arrests and stuff or something, or there was somebody that
I
would.
don't remember that happening at all.
It
Oh.
did happen. The police came and they handcuffed her and they carried her out. Okay, our kids didn't realize it at the time, but we were kind of poor. Len worked very hard, but his paycheck was very small. Our kids only wore hand-me-downs, and I cut their hair to save money. Hey, we drove beater cars, still do, and our house needed a lot of work and we couldn't afford to hire anybody, so there was a lot of stress trying to keep things together.
I always thought we went to Lloyd's for barber haircuts, but.
Not.
Yeah, we did. I
We
did.
later, we did later, not at first.
We
Okay,
graduated a little.
Where's Wade, by the way?
I don't know, but I wanna finish this. Plus, I was kind of an emotional mess and you got the brunt of it. The kids grew up hearing Len and me fight constantly, but for all the mistakes we made, I think the one thing that I tried to impress was to put the Lord's ways first, to always follow Him. And I think, okay, that's the highest priority. And somehow our kids have forgiven us for our hypocrisy, and they saw through to what our intentions were. I know David has chosen to fear the Lord, which is the beginning of wisdom. It's evidenced by his kind and generous heart, and his ability to keep going when life is unbearably hard. He sees the good in people, he shows compassion, and doesn't hold a grudge. I like this quote. How we walk with the broken speaks louder than how we sit with the great. David has a tenacious love for his kids. Am I proud of him
Amen.
for being CEO? Heck yes. But I'd be just as proud of him if he were working at Meyer, because he has wisely chosen his priorities. Not perfectly, no one does it perfectly. But everyone who knows him knows who he follows. So I just want to end with a prayer. Lord, thank you for this promotion and the blessing that comes with it. Thank you that all our blessings are from you. Keep us from pride, arrogance, self-importance. May we seek you with all our heart. Help us to put our roots down deep and to keep our eyes fixed on you. Help us to never allow other things, even good things, to crowd in and choke our lives. Wisdom starts with fear of the Lord, which is the beginning of knowledge. The fear of the Lord can be translated reverence. It means to respect and honor the Lord as God. This is the most important lesson we can learn in our life. Anyway, congratulations, David.
Happy birthday. That was nice, Mom.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to Emily, too.
My favorite part was
Yeah, you guys like that? Look at Maisie. She's just,
He
she
like
just
us.
really
She has
wants to hang
such
out
a-
with me tonight.
And we didn't always
So,
catch
she's
him.
such
Yeah.
she's got such a soft, kind-hearted face.
She's just so excited to have all
Mom, thanks for writing that. That was really
Yeah.
So you all the other kids, CEO and I'm
I thought I got all the presents
Hey,
today.
I got my
Well, I guess
master's
I'm not
degree.
getting
David's
one.
the CEO now.